So, who are you? Who are you? Mary or Martha? Hold on, I gotta get this thing working. I think a lot of times we always look at Martha as being the less spiritual of the two. But I'm not absolutely sure of that, and we'll go through why. Today, I wonder if we are trying to do too much in our lives. I wonder if our lives are pulled in too many directions, and if we're multitasking a little too much. That's a big word, multitasking today, where you're not doing one thing well, but 20 things not so well. And this is a new thing probably for about 15 or 20 years, multitasking. Stretching yourself so thin that you don't know if you're coming or going. And I think in some regards, Martha probably was like this. But in today's gospel reading, Jesus enters into a house, the house of Martha and Mary, and they welcome him. Both welcome him with hospitality. Mary sat with Jesus listening to what he said. Mary was being really hospitable. Let's face it, if you have a guest come in your house, you say, sit in the living room, and then you go into your bedroom and you start reading. That's not too hospitable, is it? So Mary is being hospitable, and Martha at the same time. Both are being quite hospitable. In the Middle East, one of the things that shows the difference between people in the Middle East and barbarians are the fact that they are very hospitable. They might not like you, but your house is always open to them. And their house is always open to you. Hospitality is very important to those who are living in the Middle East. Martha had many tasks. Immediately we see in the story that Mary and Martha are being held as contrasts, side by side. Martha with her many tasks, and Mary always sitting at Jesus' feet. I remember hearing a sermon many years ago by a contemplative priest, I think he was a Carthusian, who said that their order, the order of Carthusians, take after Mary. They're sitting at the Lord's feet. And I thought as he was giving his homily, I said, but how the heck does the church run without a Martha? You need Marthas and you need Marys. Martha's hospitality was very much in line, like I said, with the cultural norms of the day. She had many tasks to accomplish, and let's face it, wherever Jesus was, he used to tag along 12 apostles and followed him everywhere. So this was like the Seder meal that we had back in April. This was not just luncheon for 2 people. This was probably 15 people, maybe more than 15 people. People loved following Jesus. Martha had a heck of a lot to do. I mean, as Mary sat there, which is fine. She chose the better part, Jesus said. And we have to agree with that she did. Martha had a lot going on and a lot of work. Mary, on the other hand, just listened to the Lord's voice. Just listening to what Jesus has said. Because not too long after this, he is crucified. You have to remember that. She takes it on herself to listen to the final words that Jesus will speak to those friends of his. And they were friends of his, Mary and Martha. Sometimes we think of Jesus as, I know growing up, as like not having that many friends, but having these 12 apostles, following him everywhere. But these people, these apostles, Mary and Martha, Jesus loved. Loved like you would love your bestie, your best friend. Jesus was human as much as he was divine. And these people, for him, were special. These were people who supported him, who supported his ministry, who heard the word. He carried it out. Many heard the word and didn't, but these were his friends. and his friends whom he loved dearly. Martha's condition is always work, 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 work. She's not content with the state of affairs in her home without constantly working. But she does provide hospitality. And the Greek word for that, distracted, because it says that Martha's distracted by many things, means more than just an inability to focus on one thing. The word means to be pulled or dragged away. Martha isn't distracted only by the tasks of hospitality, that task that she does well. She is pulled internally as well. And many times we're pulled internally in two different directions. Should I go to Mass or should I stay home? Should I do this or should I do that? Should I pray today or I don't feel like praying today? So there's kind of a dichotomy going on with Martha back and forth. She wants Mary to do what she's doing too. You see, Martha says, Lord, tell her to give me a hand here. Martha is distracted because she's comparing herself to her sister. And when we start to compare ourselves to our brothers or our sisters that are sitting in the pews next to us saying, oh, well, that one's not following the book. Oh, that one, she's not singing today. Oh, that one, she didn't come to Mass today. When we start comparing these things, we sometimes become that Martha, comparing herself and her good works to her sister Mary. Mary was sitting at the feet of Jesus, and she was not concerned with other things. She was concerned only about drinking that living water that Jesus offered to everybody, man, woman, or child who would listen to him. She knew where she wanted to be, and she was not divided. That is one thing about Mary. She was not divided. She had her eyes on Jesus. Mary recognized that she needed to give her total focus on Jesus and not on anything else. She knew at the time and the place it was her job to sit there almost and worship him. She did, I think, shows the better part. And Mary understood in that moment that listening to the words of Jesus and hearing that transformative news about the kingdom of God and the love of the Father is primary over everything in your life. Martha, as I said, was divided. Divided. My brothers and my sisters, like Martha, we can't recognize God showing up in our house when listening to God is just one more thing on our to-do list. We make these to-do lists. I do them every day. I make a to-do list. Even when I work for Cheryl, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then she gives me another to-do list on the other side, so I have to follow Cheryl's to-do list. But when it comes to prayer, that's going to be at the top of the to-do list, and everything else will fall in line. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and everything else, I'm telling you, believe me, trust Jesus on this, everything will fall into line. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. Seek to listen to Jesus. When we forget, and we just go and, even if you get up in the morning and say, Jesus, the day is yours, and you don't say anything else the rest of the day to him, start that. You're going to see a big difference in your life. I prayed last week like I never prayed in my life working for Cheryl. I never realized how much she does. But I had to at the beginning of the day. Please, God. The day I forgot was Friday of all days. And it was the worst day of the whole week that I had. And I recognized it at the end of the day. That I did not put Jesus on the top of that to-do list. But I followed Cheryl's to-do list anyway. So, my brothers and my sisters, today, let us be a little bit like Mary and a little bit like Martha, except let us not be duplicitous. Let us not try to look at Martha and say, oh, she's not being spiritual. The church needs both. The church needs workers, and it needs spiritual power as well. And we get that power by prayer. Brother Lawrence was a monk, and he said, even in the mundane things in life, in the ordinary things in life, like washing a toilet, like doing dishes, we think God is not there. Oh, yes, he is. He's sometimes more there than he is in our prayer life. If we do everything for him, if we do everything for him, if we start that day off with that one prayer, Lord, this is your baby rocket. This is, please help me through the day. Pope John the 23rd was a great pope, as everybody knows. He started the Second Vatican Council. A wonderful pope, a good man. His heart was as big as his body, and he was quite jovial and quite large. And at the end of the day, the person who is in charge of 1.2 billion Catholics would say to God, Lord, I'm going to bed now, it's your church, watch over it. And we have to have that same attitude. So in the morning, get up, even if you just say, God, this day is for you. This is for you. This one's for you. You're going to see things change. I've noticed it in my life. I hope you notice it in yours. Just try it. That's all I'm asking. And I'll talk to you next week about it. Amen?